So I see you as sitting on this control trust, Mayor Tory, John Tory, the individual, and you say, well, it's just working with the family. Do I understand it right? Do they not, the family, the control trust, not control 90.9% of the Class A voting shares for RCI or Rogers Group?
Yes, that's right, Joe. And what the trust does is the trust owns those shares and receives the dividend income, just like all the other shareholders, except they have a lot of them. And the trust helps the family to invest that money in other things, whatever they might be. Some businesses the kids might want to get into. We give the family some advice with respect to, just even how they deal with their charitable givings. They recently gave away more than $100 million to hospitals in Toronto. So we deal with those kinds of things. And
So we have to have fair regulation and safety for the public. Otherwise, bring on the technology. Bring on these applications and things that allow people to maybe make a buck or two having someone stay in their house. Bring on, the convenience of Uber. It's the 21st century, and Toronto's got to be a leader in this, not somebody that's trying to sort of wipe it out.
Basically, giving someone a remuneration for having given you a ride.
But that's like Airbnb. I mean, this is the way of the future a bit, in that I think a lot of younger people in particular, and those with precarious employment, are using their home, they're using their car as a means of making a buck or two. I have no problem. That's called entrepreneurship. It's called, small business. But it has to be done in a way that is regulated equitably.
The province should, they talked about it in their budget about a sharing economy. I call it the new economy, but it's here to stay, and so we have to evolve with the reality of it happening.
Do you hear anything about this in other industries? I know your constituency is down Kitchener way, and Airbnb Uber may not be down there to the same extent, but certainly Airbnb, I suspect, is in most cities in Ontario where people can rent out rooms in their houses to people who otherwise might be staying in hotels. Do you hear from the hotels saying, we're regulated, they're not, and, raising, chime in on Uber and taxis and so forth? The message here, good morning, sir. Seeing Uber and taxis providing the same service on two different fields, why not bring them to a level playing field and meet in the middle? That's what I'm talking about, a new regulatory regime. It's fun to be back on the radio for this one morning. I will say this to you. One of the things you see in politics, and you see it here at the radio station, I saw it before when I was here, is messages like this that came in at 7:03. Tory, how much money are you getting from Uber? And what a sad thing it is that we've got to the point now where, a lot of these messages are so spiteful and so full of anger and so full of I don't know, it's polarized vitriol. And I just think it's so sad that people sit, it seems like, I don't know whether they're sitting in their basements or somewhere all day, every day, just thinking of negative things to say about everybody. And, I'm a big boy. I mean, I'm in political life, and that's fine. There are going to be people who say these things. But for someone to say that because I have an opinion on a huge public policy issue, that therefore it must mean I'm taking money from Uber, which of course is entirely. And you're not normally the guy that would be advocating for more government regulation, but I think the answer to James Laidlaw's question is fair regulations that apply to everybody, including Uber, and that may mean relaxing some of the regulations on cabs.
In all honesty, Mayor, I don't think it matters what City Hall does.
Free enterprise and people's ability to contract with one another.
I'd love to stay and debate that with you, because I think we'd end up agreeing, because I think that's where we'll end up, which is less regulation on the taxis, which might actually even cause the prices to come down. But we still have to have the basic regulations that have to do.
But in the meantime, I think all parties, Uber, taxi industry, and the city should be sitting at the table trying to sort this out, because Uber can't operate unregulated, and the cab industry can't necessarily assume the rules are going to be, the same as they've always been, just because things change.
And they can't fight with each other. They need to, because the tow truck industry is next, and who knows, where it's going to go.
Well, look at the hotel industry with Airbnb. They're now worried because people are able to rent out rooms in their, in their houses, and the hotel industry are saying, well, yeah, but we pay all these taxes, and we have license fees, and we have inspections, and then suddenly, but that's the technology, so we better sort of figure out a way to deal with it, because it's not going to go away.